Welcome back, everybody. Hope you all have had your lunch. A few more presentations to go. We have next amazing artist. His name is Guillaume Meyer. He's from Adobe Substance. He's a technical artist, as I mentioned, from Adobe Substance, and will be showcasing the workflow of Cinema 4D and how he uses Substance and integrates it. He was also working closely with the developing team to integrate Substance into Cinema 4D. He'll also talk about the Maxon 1 bundle that we have with Substance and After Effects, so we can take you through that as well. You can also scan the QR code for a chance of winning the assets, or chance of downloading the assets from the artists. I'll let Guillaume take ahead and take us through the presentation. Thank you, Guillaume.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Hi, everyone. I'm Guillaume Meyer, a senior technical artist at Adobe. I'm working for the Substance 3D suite of tools that you can find in the Creative Cloud app. So basically, we're going to speak about mostly texturing, modeling, texturing, and rendering in Cinema 4D and Redshift. We're going to render some food, so if you're hungry right now, it's the right time to join us. Chocolate treats will be displayed only in 3D. Nothing can be tasted. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so just so you know what is my background, I'm a technical artist at Substance, so I have some of my filters or content that are available in the software. So as you can see in Sampler, I developed the embroidery tool that creates an embroidery out of a PNG, perspective crop, paint warp that has a US patent on it, the stochastic tiling, and the wave cloth that are pretty popular in apparel design. These are texture generators. Also in Painter, I did like the fabric top stitching, the fabric seam, and the embroidery on it. And coming soon in Adobe Photoshop, the embroidery generator also that will be integrated in the parametric filters of Photoshop. So some of the example of the filters I'm developing for the tools. So as you can see here down, you see Painter with the stitching tool that allows you to add some stitching along a curve. So this is a very nice workflow to get some texture on your models. And on Sampler, on the top, you have the embroidery patch generator that allows you to do 3D embroidery patch, basically, for your project. Everything you will export can be exported in SBSR, Substance files that you can import in Cinema 4D. Actually, this render was done in Cinema 4D with Redshift, too. This one, too. I'm always using Cinema 4D and Redshift to do the renders. Some other stuff that I don't really like to show for Adobe because it's more personal, but you can find me on Instagram, Geeksmo. This is where I put sometimes the personal work I'm doing. So as you can see, mostly it's non-commercial work. No one would pay to get this type of content in his account. But I work with Eric Ferguson, Fergumadden, on a clip for Lil Jon. So this is one of the clips we did with Offset, which is a rapper. So basically it was a live by Lil Jon. So if you want to look at this clip, music clip, you will have that. Then you can see Tyler, the creator. This was a personal, a fan art thing, nothing contracted about. Okay, so let's speak about the subject of today. And today we want to model some food. So basically, I want to present you like from the modeling of the asset to the texturing of it within Painter. I will do a live demo and then rendering it in Cinema 4D. So this will be the workflow I will using. As you can see, VR modeling in Modeler. So this is like really to do sculpting, but in VR. So it's a specificity. If you don't have a VR headset, you cannot do VR modeling within Modeler. And then we will see like texturing and rendering. Also, as you can see, Modeler is in beta, so you can find it in the Creative Cloud on the beta apps. Yeah. So let's jump into VR, and we will just explore the VR features of Modeler. So everything that has been done before was done in the desktop app, but here now we are in VR. And what is great with VR modeling is that you can really place your objects on a 3D space with your hands, so it feels very natural. Actually, like placing objects is super easy because you have this distance. Then you have nice tool inside Modeler, like the elastic tool will allow you to warp your volume, basically the sculpt, with some physics. So as you can see, the physics will manage to get your volume consistent. And so basically here I'm creating some flow for the caramel over here. And it's very easy. It feels very natural because it is in VR. It's a really good sensation you have when you do that. Inflate tool also looks natural because you will inflate basically in 3D. So the movement can be very smooth on it. And basically here I'm doing the surrounding on the peanuts, so it looks stuck on it. And so then the caramel goes out a bit around the peanut cracks and pieces. So basically, this is what you can do with the inflate tool. The warp tool is like it's a warp tool, but that doesn't get physics. So basically, I'm creating flows of, like movement and flows in the caramel with that, using the volumetric capabilities of Modeler like that. Clay tool and erase tool are also tools that you can use in Modeler to basically erase some of the volume or VDBs or volume, yes, of the modeling, and you can add also volumes on it with the clay tool, so adding volume and erasing some of the thing. Also, here I'm using the split tool, so I'm splitting some of the pieces on my peanuts, and then I will place all these little pieces on my scene. And again, because we are in 3D and you are really inside your scene, it's very natural. You're just placing them on the space, and it's fast. You don't have gizmos or anything. Everything looks natural. So it's very easy. And then like the crisps also, I'm just painting them with like the clay tool. And this is the result I'm getting at the end. Only with the VR experience over there. Very nice if you have an Oculus headset. You can try it. Okay, so now the thing is how we go from that to this. Basically, here you will need to locally assign some material, and we're gonna use Painter to do that. So let's launch Painter on my desktop. Is it coming in? I think I might extend the thing. Okay. So how we duplicate the display? I think display. And we mirror. Can we do a mirror of my screen? I think extend. Oh, okay. Main display. Okay. Sorry for that. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Sorry for that. So basically here we are in Painter. And what I will do is loading the FBX file that I had from Modeler. directly into Painter. And when you drag and drop it, it will create a little pop-up. And basically what I'm doing is setting the resolution of the maps. Then I'm selecting OpenGL normals because Redshift is using OpenGL normals. Also, if you don't have UVs on your model, you can auto-unwrap them with the auto-unwrap tool over here. It's fully automatic. Basically, you say, I want to regenerate seams or missing UV sets and stuff like that, and it will allow you to do that automatically. Color management, physical size. I think we want to just go with the default over there and look at our scene. So this is here the scene that we have here. So as you can see, I have my background. Also, Painter can import cameras. So here I have my camera that I placed within Modeler. And I can retrieve it over here just to see the composition. And basically, what I like to do first is let's reset the UI. As you can see, in Painter also you have the possibility to see your UVs over there. And what I like to do first is going directly into the Substance 3D Assets website over here that we have directly inside Painter into the material panel. And usually I'm trying to get some material from there. So for example, I know that this caramel, I will use a yogurt texture on it. So this one sounds great, so I will download this one. I'm also using like rocks, so I know basalt are pretty crunchy rocks. And basically, what I want to show you over here is that if you want to do cracked chocolates or some effects like that, you don't need to search for cracked chocolates. Basically, you can just use one of these rocks that are cracked. Basically, you will just style it in a way that can be used over there to do like some cool effects for doing this crack noise on the edges. So basically, I will download this one. I'm also using metal coated materials. So this is for the chocolates. When you look at it, it has some bubbles and some grains, like super thin grain on it and bubbles. So I like to use this one for everything that is chocolate. Then you put it in brown and that will work. I know that, I think it's pretty much what I want. Also, like, bark. Also, these are very cool scan-based material, like bark. Will do this type of cracks along, or like thinner cracks. As you can see, it's super detailed, so it will look really organic on your, and very testy. This is what you want. Basically, once you put subsurface scattering on it, this will look just really good. So yeah, basically you do your shopping list over here, and then you'll come back in Painter, and everything that I downloaded will be selected over here in my material panel. Also, what you can do is your assets. You can select that, and you will see all the assets that are downloaded from Painter. So I will start with that, and when I'm starting over here, basically what I'm doing is just assigning some material. Like I said, drag and dropping the chocolate. As you can see, you have this thin grain, and what I usually do is tile it so it has the right size on it, and then change the color. So here at the bottom, if you are curious about Painter, just to explain, here you have a layer stack with your material that I just drag and drop. This is a fill layer. And basically here you have the properties down the layers. And you can have parameters. Each material you download from the Substance 3D asset has a set of parameters. And as you can see, this can be a very specific parameter, like the bubble intensity for this one. Also the grain intensity. So as you can see, if we are zooming in, like I can really fine-tune that. And this is what I love with Substance, is that because these are artist-made material, they come with very specific thing you want to modify on your projects. Then you can change, you have always a slider, a color picker for any of the material. This is one of the most important thing. And the roughness, chocolate is pretty rough. You might think this is like a very glossy material, but it is not really that glossy. Also, creating some roughness variation could be great on chocolates. To create like roughness variation, what you can do is search for noises. So going into the texture, and we have a ton of noises. So basically you have flat noises, like you can search for them. Cloud will be a cool noise, and you can drag and drop directly the noise into the layer stack, and it will ask you where do you want to assign it. And basically I want to assign that on the roughness. So once I have that, I can tile it, and as you can see, I'm creating some roughness changes over there. Though the thing is, here I want to balance it here. And also, this is why it's like Photoshop in a way, is that you can reduce the opacity of your layers. Because here I see that it's too contrast. So when you want to do that, of course you have multiple layers, and you want to go with the roughness layer and lower the intensity. So basically you see more like details on the chocolates like that, but it's not too intense. And really when you understand that this is exactly the same system as Photoshop used with the blending option, etc., then Painter becomes way more easy to use. Okay, so for the chocolate, I think I'm done. I will do the cracks of the chocolate after. So I can come back here to my assets, going back into the materials filter, and I want to use some soft yogurt over here. And for the soft yogurt, I want to use only the normal over here. And also, I want to use a different type of projection. And this is what is cool about Painter, is that even if you have not that good UVs, as you can see here, I see a cut over here. This is on a close-up. This might look wrong sometimes. So basically, you want to project it in a different way. And we have many projection options. Triplanar, the classic one, but even the warp projection is very cool, where you can warp around some of the model. So as you can see here, I have like my plane. I can just reduce it over here, like that. My scene is very large, so basically I'm just placing it around over here. Also, you can use like the placing tool to do that. That will stick to the surface. So if I'm taking that and sticking it on the surface like that, it will allows me to stick on any surface like that. And as you can see with that, then you can edit the vertices of the warp tool, and they're gonna stick to the surface tool also. So as you can see, you can warp around your texture, and this will contain the soft yogurt texture over there. And everything works in 3D, so basically it will warp really like you want the texture you're using, like that. So very, very customizable interface to get your mapping just where you want. And this is what's nice about Painter, is that you can really fine-tune your, go pretty far into how you map things and the precision. Here also, I would like just to use like a triplanar projection for that. So here I have my triplanar projection. Then I can, tile it a little bit. As you can see, I'm seeing bubbles in this material. So this is nice over there. And again, very specific parameters like the swirl intensity and the bubble density over there. I want to change that to a caramel type of color over there. As you can see here, we are not displaying some subsurface scattering, but we can activate that in Painter for sure. So I will put that pretty rough, though. Again, caramel is kind of rough, so you need to put something that's I'm tending to go at 0.4 for the thing, and we have variation on the bubbles. This will look more interesting, more realistic over here. For the peanuts, I'm using the soft bread material over here. Again, I'm putting down that, and I'm using only normals because it's very subtle what I want with that. So this one, will look good if from far, very far over there. The roughness needs to be quite rough, and that's it. Also, again, if it's too intense, I would go into the normal, lower a bit like the intensity of the normal, or you can do that in the technical parameters over there, like normal intensity over there. Again, I would use like maybe this one is cool. Like for the interior of the cracks over there in the peanuts, I'm using like some other type of material here, like rocks. And what is great is with this material, as you can see, it comes with the color, but you can here deactivate any map you don't need for this material. And also what you can do is lower down a bit the intensity of the thing. This is where I want to concentrate over there. And this is what is great then. If I want just to have this part of the rock on like the cracked part or the piece part, separated part on this peanut, I can just right-click on the layer and add a black mask. Once you have a black mask, basically you can paint anywhere on your model, and this will display the material, basically. So like that, you can locally paint on some of the parts of the peanuts that needs to have more details. And as you can see, I'm using like rocks that doesn't really make sense for peanuts when it's not really the same material, but basically it's what you will get from the noise or the pattern of a crack rock will be very similar to what you get in a super macroscopic material, basically. Also with X, I'm changing the color over here of my mask. So basically I can paint or retrieve some of the mask. And with the Alt, left click on the mask, you can see where you're painting, basically. So this can help you, like if you want to be a bit more precise on things over there. With the M key, you can come back to the material mode. Okay, I think this is set. For the chocolate, I want to group these layers over there and send them to the hertz over there. So basically, I'm grouping every layer on it, and then I'm creating instantiate across texture sets. So basically, it will create a copy of this folder on the background. So I'm selecting only the background over there, and I'm clicking OK. So now we have an instance of the chocolate over there. So if I'm changing anything in this group on the chocolate group, basically everything will be modified at the same time. And this can help you when you have large scenes to get things ongoing more quickly, basically. Now that we have that, we want to do the Nougat, and the Nougat will use what we call like a 3D noise. So 3D noise, these are the 3D noise. They are seamless noises that you can use on the model. So basically, you won't see any a seam, or even if your UVs are cut everywhere over there, it's mapping the noise with the 3D position of the asset. And basically, to unlock that, what you want to do first is to bake some maps on your model. So baking is accessible in the texture set settings or here with the little croissant. So you can bake any map over here on it. And as you can see, these maps, I don't need all of them, but you have thickness, position. I do need position. You can have curvature. Let's bake it. Ambient occlusion. ID map is interesting if you already did the colors on Cinema 4D or any other application. Well, basically, you can retrieve the material colors from that you set in Cinema 4D. So if you don't want to recreate colors, you can do it like that. Wall space normal, yeah. And basically, you can click on Bake Textures. And basically, as you can see, Painter will use his bakers to just bake some geometrical information that we can extract from the model. So curvature, thickness, ambient occlusion. And what this map will allow you to do is to use generator that can do some very cool effects inside Painter. Masking and stuff like that. A bit like compositing, but with textures, basically. Once it's done, we can return, come back to our asset over here. And basically now I can use 3D noises because we have the position map. So I will go to the Nougat. And I want to use the Worley noise over there. So let's drag and drop it. And I think I want it to go in the height. So height will do like the volume of the noise. And I want to scale it pretty well over there. So here I have some noise over there. Can tile it. And what you can do in Painter is going into the shader, actually. And in real time, you can activate some displacements. So here it's quite powerful. Also, my scene is very small. So because it's a chocolate treats high like that. So basically, you need to put like very low amounts depending on the size of your scene. So here, as you can see, we can start to see like displacement, and everything is running in real time. So I can just set up the thing over here. Also, I can use different type of algorithm for the noise, but I think the first one is good. Just a bit of roundness, I think, and also I do want like to reduce a bit of the height intensity over there. Maybe like that. Something like that, maybe just a bit more tiled. Yeah, like that. So from far, it looks like something organic, and Yeah. Also, I want to add a fill layer and change the color of it. So here, bright, like a bright nougat color over there. Here. Okay, so once we have that, also I want to do some cracks here to have more details. And what I will do to do that, it's drag and dropping in the chocolates my rocks over there, my library. So I'm using this one. So let's keep it here. It's loading the thing over there. Then we want to, of course, use the height information over there so we can see like the thing, and we don't want like the color. So I can see like pretty well my my tiling here and what type of shape I want for yeah, I think this would be a nice tiling. We have detail over there, so this looks good for me. Maybe always like fine tuning the blending of it for the intensity. It's always great, like in Photoshop here. And some bark tree here. Again, deactivating the color, activating the height only. And here you will get like this pattern over there. And again, what I would like to use over here maybe would be like a planar projection. So I can just place it over there. Over here, like some planar projection. And I want to reduce the size of the plane because it's pretty big over there because of the size of my scene over here. And like that, yeah, I can really fine-tune like how my my material is mapping, and I want to have it a bit tilt like that, something like that. Yeah, that looks good. And maybe like less tiled, but more tiled than the rock thing. Yeah, I think this would do the thing, do the trick. So over here, I'm just like fine-tuning the thing, but I can do that also later. And again, I want to group this. And here I can group it. And now I can use a mask, again, like Photoshop, on the group. And so then I can paint on the masks to let the thing where I want. Also, what we can use to paint that, which is more let's say, flexible, is the curve tool. So the curve tool, basically, you will draw curves on the model, and it will follow your mask. And basically, we can, at any time, change the size of the curve. So basically, it's only going where we want over here. And we can also change the hardness of it. Or we can blur a bit the mask after. So with like a filter on the mask and a blur over here. And then we can continue like doing our curve here. So I will select the curve. And yeah, going here, there. Just doing it quite quickly over here, but and at any point you can change the path here, and to close the curve, you click on Command or Control, and that will close the curve. So like that, you can locally apply the thing quite easily. Okay, I will just keep it like that for now. One thing I want to do is when you have details like this thing, sometimes like there is micro detail, and this will be transmitted into the roughness map. So basically, the roughness will get you something more matte, more rough, And this is why I want also to add here a fill layer into the group. So basically it goes only where we have this noise over here. And I want to lower a bit, to have more rough data over here. So basically it looks rough here, and here it looks more glossy on the side of the chocolate. So now I think I'm pretty much ready to export this, this texturing. So basically what I will do is export the textures. And here, what you want to select, you want to select document channels over there. So basically it will export the channels that you have over here. And basically then you can check everything you need to be exported. So this is where you choose what type of texture you want to export from Painter. And so I won't do everything over here, but the background, for example, I know that I won't use displacement, so I'm deactivating the height. I will only use the base color, the roughness. I don't need metallic. I'm just selecting the thing I want and the normal. I do need the normal over there. Same for the caramel. I don't need any of these. The chocolate, I do need some displacement. I want to have displacement on Redshift. So basically, I'm exporting the height over there. You can keep or usually if you are texturing with Redshift and you have some height, well, you don't need any normal because the displacement will do the height for you. But you can add the normal if you want to fine-tune a bit more like the intensity of the super small details, etc., etc. And what you can use for Cinema 4D, basically, because now we have an integration, we have it for sometimes, but we've redone it, and it's very easy to use the integration. So basically, you can use SBSAR format over there to drag and drop it directly in Cinema 4D. You can choose the final resolution. Usually, I would choose something 8K or 4K. Here, just for having a quick export, I would choose that. Select the path and export. As you can see, it will export all the maps you've selected and compress it into one file by texture set. So as you can see, I have all my different SBSAR files that are exported. OK, let's jump into Cinema 4D now. And so I will open that. And this is Cinema 4D 2025 here. And I will open my scene from Modeler. And this is what we get. So as you can see, from Modeler, you get 3D high poly asset. But because it's not animated, it's fine for me. So I can do displacement on it, etc. And the only thing you need to do is, as you can see, we have material over there. I can delete these materials. Go into my folder where I exported my files and just drag and drop them. So, demo, SBSAR. This is my SBSAR files. These are Substance 3D materials that basically have all the maps inside the package. And what is great in Cinema 4D right now is that you can just drag and drop them into your material manager. Then it will ask you if you want to copy them into a text folder like it usually does for materials. You can say yes. It will ask you that for all the materials. Also, if you don't want this pop-up, you can go into the preferences of Cinema 4D and say always ask or always import them, always copy them, etc. So you can avoid this thing. But I always kind of like Cinema 4D to ask me that. And then this is it. This is the material. Everything is plugged into that. this is what is awesome about Substance, is that it will avoid like very tedious things for you, because we really care about like the efficiency of the workflow, and this is why we always kind of do shortcuts for everything that is tedious and not creative, like just plugging already a prepared map on Redshift is so here, as you can see, the base color has been plugged into the standard material of Redshift for us. The height has been put into displacement map. The displacement map, we can lower the intensity. I know this because my scene is very little. Also, what I like to do is the range. I'm always putting that in between -1 and 1. I will keep it to 0. I will explain that later when we launch Redshift. But yeah, basically everything is connected. And what you can see also is that if you have translucency, scattering, distance scale maps, and scattering color, everything will get connected to the right input of the standard material. So you can bring like complex shaders with top coat, anisotropic reflection, and other like more advanced rendering maps, and that will just connect to the Redshift material. So I don't need to tweak a lot of it. It's just there. And I just need to assign then, like over there, the chocolate goes on this asset, one material by group, like the caramel here, and over there, this, I think, yep. And what I can do is just launch Redshift right now. So Redshift, launch it. And yeah, it should be good. As you will see, like the displacement goes crazy because I need to set it well. So I remember like the Nougat had some displacement. So I'm always going over here, lowering down the displacement over there. So basically it's lower. But what you can see over there too is that it's offsetting the displacement up from like the surface just up, and basically you want also the displacement to go down in your surface. So what you want to do is to set this new range to from -1 to 1 in Redshift. You do that only for the displaced material, like that. And yeah, that's it. As you can see now, it's going like from the inside and the outside. Of course, like the lighting right now is not really done, so let's do that. Usually what I like to do for lighting is a very simple lighting. I like to use HDRI maps, basically for the lighting. So one interesting thing is when you have like a Substance subscription, you can also go to the Adobe Substance Asset website, and if you click lights over there, oops, let's see that. So you have lights over there. Basically, you can use these lights. They are high quality lights for any pack shots or interior or studio things, and you can download the XR out of it. So usually I use these maps here. So for this one, I think I used the Tomoko Studio a map, and again it will ask me like where I want to put that, and then I'm using that with some rotation over here, and I try to get like a nice contrast on it. I like when there is like shadow, like high contrast on the shadows and stuff like that. So usually I'm doing that. Here, as you can see, it's in the shadow, but here it will be lit. So I like that, like that. Usually then what I kind of do is going into the gamma, and if I want to create more contrast on the map, I'm like contrasting it with the gamma. So usually I'm taking more contrast, so it's more powerful in like the interest parts of the light over here. And sometimes I'm even lowering the intensity because the gamma sometimes will go really crazy with the high intense maps over there. And also, sometimes I'm just like rotating also a bit this this environment, so I'm getting like really like the lighting I want precisely here. And I'm looking at this part over there just so I get it right. And now, once we have that, what I like to do is directly look at my background, because this is displaying the background of the HDRI image. So usually, I go to detail. Whoop. Oh no, I think it's on the camera. Background. And I'm clicking on override, and basically I'm drag and dropping a map over here. So I have the final, let's say like the final composition, but then I can fine tune the lighting from it. So this is what I always try to do, is getting my background, everything like ready, so I can really concentrate on the final thing. And here, once I have that, what I see is that here it's too contrasted, so basically I need like a rim light to get through that, so it drives like something more bright over here. So let's do that. I'm just using like a point light for that, and let's over there, and basically I will put the point light in my camera, zero out like the values over there. Oop. So basically it's linked to my camera, and I can move it in screen space. So this is like something that I like to do when I'm doing like composition. I'm thinking also in 2D over here. So I'm aligning my lights, my point light, with the camera with the same angle. And so then I can go back, send back the camera over there. Let's see here. Here, and I want to increase the lighting intensity. So here I can see I have something on the back. Here I'm getting some reflection, so I can intense it over here, and I can send it to the right also a little bit more. So I've got something here that is more lit. Let's see, yeah, here it's getting better, like that. So usually here I would have something that works for me with all the effects I want, and I would finish the rendering just by setting the renders over there and launching the rendering, the final rendering. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the demo. It's as you can see, you can go pretty far from the texturing in Painter. Very localize your things, and once you have something very good in Painter, I mean, you will just it will look beautiful in Redshift, because you can add like all these super nice scattering effects, etc. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you. I think if you have some question, I can answer to that. Last thing I want to show you is that we have a bundle with Cinema 4D, and the Adobe suite of tools. So you can get Maxon one with Adobe After Effects, Maxon one with Adobe Substance 3D, or the three of the thing, Maxon one, Substance 3D, and After Effects. Yeah, that's it. The floor is open to question, I would guess. If you want.
Thank you so much, Guillaume. Does anybody have any questions? Don't be shy. Ask him. Ask him. If not here, you can find him at the Adobe booth as well. There is a question.
Thanks. The presentation was really cool. Sorry. One thing I was wondering, if you export to SBSAR, you have the dialog option to choose 8-bit or 16-bit. Does that influence the images inside the SBSAR?
So everything that is baked inside the SBSAR will be baked with depth. And so it will keep these depths. But what you can do with procedural SBSAR is choosing the depths in Substance Designer of your maps, or in Painter. Basically, you can choose it, but you cannot. It's not exposed in Cinema 4D, by the way. But you would choose it over here, and here you can choose like whatever depth you want to put your maps on. And if you want to modify that by map, you can go over there and change that maps by maps. And so then this will be what you will have in Cinema 4D. Also, I didn't show that, but that might be interesting if you want just to try substances, even if you don't have any subscription or what so. In the asset browser, you have free substances materials in Cinema 4D. So this is accessible for everyone that has Cinema 4D. And basically, you can just drag and drop them in your asset material browser and editor. And then, as you can see, it gets converted into Redshift automatically with all the connection you need, scattering. Also, like car paints will come with like top coats and everything. And what is great with that is that you will be able to change the parameter basically of the thing. So I think if I'm putting that over there, you will see that you get everything plug and play, and then you can modify like the color of it directly in Cinema 4D. Choose the so I think because I'm rendering here, it got stopped. But basically, then you can dynamically change the parameters in Cinema 4D for the colors, etc., and fine-tune basically the lighting. Ooh. Yeah. Oop. Something like that. Oops. I think it comes with displacement here. Anyways, funny thing. That's.
Thank you so much, Guillaume.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Taking time out and taking us through things. You all can have a chat with Guillaume after this. He'll be around, or he'll be at the Adobe booth as well. And the team is there. The Substance team is also there, so you can talk to everybody else from Substance team as well. And we'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes. Please scan this QR code if you want to, for a chance of winning Maxon 1 license. And see you in 15 minutes. Thank you.